Paul, the failure of, your failure to make money out of your fibre, that's presumably a function of demand and pricing.
It is. That's absolutely true, and it's a function of competitive forces. We also then did really good deals with Optus, so we bought capacity of Optus, and that's held us in good sway going forward. But fibre, infrastructure-based competition was at the heart of the competitive reforms in this industry. We all forget, you know, the economy is in such good strength because of the reforms we started in the Hawke-Keating reforms in the late 80s, early 90s. Competitive forces, freeing up the exchange rate. Are we going back and to remove those competitive forces? Is that at the cornerstone of what we're talking about? I hope not.
If we do have fibre to the home, though, I mean, fundamentally the heavy investments in connecting to the home, is it conceivable to you that there'd be enough consumer demand at reasonable prices from the NBN's perspective to actually make that viable?
No.
Can consumers use 100 megs?
Well, conceivably they could. But it's like the Cross-City Tunnel here in Sydney, a wonderful piece of infrastructure. No one wants to use it at the price.
Paul, you referred earlier to the deal that the rural independents have struck, which is to build, as you say, from the outside in and to have a consistent wholesale price across the countryside. What does that do to the economics? I mean, the implementation study was talking about variable pricing in the regions, for instance, and presumably building inside out gives you more cash flows up front.
No, it doesn't give more cash flows, but if your model is, if you're really thinking about providing services to those who haven't got it, and if the assumption is the people who haven't got it and need it most are in the rural areas, and that's a political decision to cross-subsidise them from metro consumers to country consumers, then if you're going to do that, then an outside-in approach would be the right thing to do. I think the worst thing you can do, is to overbuild what's already there. That's, to me, for the largest, we keep forgetting, $43 billion is the largest investment this nation's made in anything. And we haven't a good analysis of what it actually means. So if you're going to start, then I do think taking the rural line outside in is a good one. And then hopefully we'll get some more information and more debate about what already exists in the ground, and we can leverage off what's already there. And I also think that the world's moving on. In the third world today, we don't use fibre, we use wireless. And if you talk about the fastest growing part of this market, it's about wireless broadband. And 4G's coming at a pace. We just had our people up in China at the Huawei's research schools, and they've got 24,000 people researching wireless and 4G and efficient spectrum. And the world is changing. Yes, you're going to need fibre to do the heavy lifting. It's not one versus the other, it's how you combine them both to deliver the outcomes you want. People will trade speed for convenience. They'll trade speed for mobility. And that's what's going to happen. And I was telling the other day, there was a friend of mine, a cocky on a farm in the Upper Hunter, and he's sitting on his tractor, a good tractor it was too, nice air-conditioned one. He had his mobile phone, not a fixed line, he had his mobile phone, he's checking market prices. And he was telling me the story of how on his iPhone he's proposing to put in sensors on the ground to determine the soil moisture so he can get the depth right for his ploughing, so as to get the fields right. The world we're changing is all about a combination of fibre and wireless. And this same guy said, well, you know, I'm 4 kilometres from the main road. He wouldn't think the economics of building fibre up these 4 kilometres would work. And he's right.